Welcome to the incredible story of a football prodigy who took the world by storm. The teenage rise of Kylian Mbappé. This isn't just a tale of talent. It's a journey of ambition, resilience, and pure magic. Get ready, because we're about to relive the moments that turned a kid from the streets into a global icon. Have we all forgotten the magic of Mbappé at 17? Think again. Back then, he was already rewriting the history books. Coming off the bench most of the season, he managed to chalk up 40 goal contributions, one every 65 minutes, a pace that left defenders and even the rising star Yamal, who averages one every 141, in the dust. While Yamal's early career might have had its moments, Mbappé single-handedly inspired Monaco to reach the Champions League semifinals. His impact on PSG was seismic. A €180 million splash to snatch him away was only the start. PSG reclaimed every domestic trophy, but nothing compared to the monumental feat of winning the World Cup as a teenager, an achievement reminiscent of Pelé's legendary debut back in 1958. It's not just the stats. Mbappé's ascent is steeped in passion and raw vision. At the age of 14, while most kids were content with a simple school assignment, he took it upon himself to reimagine the cover of a magazine. Instead of settling for a generic celebrity shot, he recreated Time magazine's layout, striking a pose with his name boldly declaring, "The best young player in the world." Even then, his destiny was crystal clear. Yet behind the immaculate image of the perfect, calorie-counting, early-rising prodigy was a boy forged in the toughest streets of Bondy. Raised in the poorest district of Paris, Mbappé witnessed his neighborhood engulfed in chaos, a 3-week riot that set 8,000 cars ablaze and left thousands in arrest. In the midst of this turmoil, football was his escape, his solace, his everything. It was in the local amateur pitch, where his father once played, that he discovered his true calling. And then there was Jurez Ikoko, a man whose own legend was etched in history. Ikoko, the son of Jean Kembo, the first African to score in a World Cup for Zaire, became more than just a mentor. In a time when Zaire's legacy was being reshaped by political and social upheaval, Ikoko was like a brother to Mbappé. He was the first to show the young boy that greatness was not just possible, it was inevitable. By age 11, while most kids were still playing for fun, Mbappé was jet-setting across Europe. A trip to London to tour Chelsea's academy introduced him to the likes of Didier Drogba and Carlo Ancelotti. Imagine a young Mbappé, wide-eyed, meeting legends whose faces he had only seen on posters. And when he showcased his skills in an under-12 match for Chelsea, his excitement was palpable. He even had to prove to his friends that the picture with Drogba wasn't a dream. When Chelsea called for a second trial, his mother's decisive words rang out, "If you want to sign him, you sign him now. In 5 years, they'll be asking you for 50 million. Instead, he chose the path that promised a future of unparalleled excellence at Clairefontaine, just like his brother before him. By 14, Mbappé's star was already rising. He rejected offers from Liverpool, Man City, Bayern Munich. The only club that truly captivated his imagination was Real Madrid. But fate had its own plans. On that fateful day, as he stepped off the airplane and met Zinedine Zidane waiting for him, Mbappé was so awestruck he wondered if he was still dreaming. Later, sharing a moment with Ronaldo, he experienced the surreal realization that the legends from his bedroom posters were now right in front of him. "I'm just Kylian from Bondy," he thought. "This can't be real. I must still be sleeping on the plane." And then came the twist. When Monaco, in a shock move that turned the headlines upside down, snapped up a 14-year-old Mbappé, the world watched in disbelief. Just 2 years later, barely 3 weeks after being promoted to the reserve squad, Leonardo Jardim unleashed him into the first team, breaking records that once belonged to legends like Thierry Henry. At just 17, Mbappé was playing in Europe's elite competitions, facing Tottenham in the Europa League, registering assists, scoring goals, and rewriting Monaco's history as the youngest goalscorer ever. The magic didn't stop there. In one electrifying match, with Monaco trailing by a goal only 10 minutes in, Mbappé sparked a comeback that left spectators in awe. First, he won a penalty to level the game. Then, His impeccable pace and precision turned the tide, assisting, scoring, and igniting a 6-2 demolition against Metz that became the talk of the town. Even when Leonardo Jardim remained cautious, Mbappé's brilliance couldn't be contained. 2 weeks later, thrown into a match against Metz with just 26 minutes left, he struck less than a minute later. A goal was on the board. Goal after goal followed, as he dazzled the crowd with his ability to toy with defenders and flip the script of the game. Monaco's resurgence was nothing short of extraordinary, with Mbappé's sublime performances amassing 20 goals and 5 assists in 24 games. His dominance was undeniable. The team not only challenged the reigning giants like PSG, but ultimately stole the title away. In the games where he clocked over 45 minutes of play, Monaco's record was flawless, drawing once and never losing. In the remaining minutes, even when coming off the bench, his impact was undeniable. Across the season, each touch, each play was a masterclass in speed and precision. And while legends like Ronaldo were busy collecting Ballon d'Or trophies, Mbappé was setting records that would etch his name among the immortals. From being the youngest call-up for the French national team since 1955, to bagging the league's Young Player of the Year award, every step of his journey was filled with moments that screamed destiny. Clubs across Europe, Barcelona, Arsenal, Real Madrid knocked on his door, each vying for the chance to nurture this wonder kid. Yet, amid all the glamour, Mbappé's heart remained tied to his roots. Real Madrid's offer might have been irresistible to many, but for him, loyalty and the promise of a starring role meant more than a hefty bid. His decision to move to PSG wasn't just about a club. It was about solidifying his legacy and proving that his brilliance wasn't confined to the fairy tales of youth. In the national colors, his journey reached an even more legendary milestone. At just 19, Mbappé became a world champion, a feat that made him the talk of the town and the poster child for every kid dreaming big. During the World Cup, his performances were nothing short of breathtaking. In a nail-biting encounter against Argentina, just 13 minutes into the game, he embarked on a runaway sprint from his own half, darting past 4 opponents at an astonishing 38 kilometers per hour, the highest speed ever clocked in a World Cup match, to win a penalty that would turn the tide. With every burst of speed and every decisive move, he reminded the world why he was the wonder kid everyone had been waiting for. As the tournament progressed, the magic multiplied. From orchestrating plays that turned the tide in France's favor to scoring goals that cemented his place in history, Mbappé became a one-man army. In that same match against Argentina, he unleashed a spectacular brace in a knockout showdown. His performance hailed as the changing of the guard. Just as Pelé had once dazzled on the world stage, this young maestro was now doing it on a grander scale. A 50-yard sprint, a perfectly timed slide, and then that brace etched his name in the annals of history. In the final showdown against Croatia, 65 minutes in, Mbappé delivered a thunderous strike, becoming the youngest player since Pelé to score in a World Cup final, a moment that resonated across generations. By the time the dust settled, Mbappé was not only a world champion, but the undisputed wonder kid of his generation. A cover shoot for Time magazine later confirmed what the world had already seen. His destiny was to inspire, to transform, and to ignite the dreams of millions. As he declared on that historic cover, "This is for the kids of Bondi. We are the dreamers, and lucky for us, dreaming doesn't cost a thing." Looking back at the season, a season where his form may have dipped slightly at times, there was one arena where he remained unstoppable: the national team. Every match, every minute he played, his impact was undeniable. With the same fire and determination that had propelled him from the streets of Bondy to the world's biggest stages, he left an indelible mark on every game. The World Cup was his canvas, and he painted a masterpiece with every sprint, every goal, and every moment of brilliance. So here we stand, on the precipice of what promises to be an even more remarkable future. Mbappé's early years are not just a collection of records and highlights. They are the building blocks of a legend that, at 17, was already rewriting history, a legend that continues to evolve and inspire, leaving us to wonder, What will his next chapter hold?